everyone. I am Passang Dolma, and you're watching Gehu Talkies, the official podcast channel of Graphic Era Hill University, brought to you by the Department of Media and Mass Communication. Today's episode is the beginning of a new series called Know Your Faculty. It's about introducing our dear faculty members to you guys to show you who are the real backbone of our department. Today, we have with us the head of the Department of Media and Mass Communication, Dr. Taha Siddiqui, who is a teacher, researcher, trainer, filmmaker, and much more. So, in this conversation, we'll get to know about her, her story, her journey, her vision, and her work. So, without any further ado, let's dive into this amazing conversation. Hello, ma'am. How are you doing today?
Hello, and this is a wonderful initiative. I'm good. How are you?
I'm also doing very good, ma'am. First of all, how do you feel sitting as a guest today in our own setup of Gehu Talkies?
Very special because I have seen you doing all these productions and talking to guests, but me sitting over here and talking to my student doing my interview, it feels so. I feel so happy and I feel so blessed to have such students.
Thank you so much, ma'am. So, for our viewers and all our students, right? We'll start with a brief of yourself, and who better to introduce yourself than you, right? So, apart from beyond the official titles of everything I just introduced, who are you in person? How would you describe yourself?
That's such a brilliant question to start with. That who am I? And I think this is this I'm going to answer all through my life. That who am I? But if I try to define myself, I think I am a person who is learning on a daily basis. So I am a learner, I am a mother, and I am a teacher. So these are my definition of myself, because right now I feel responsible not for my students over here, but I also feel responsible for my children back home. So these dual roles that I'm playing right now, and also of a wife. So these three roles are very close to my heart, and that's how I define myself.
That's it's really a beautiful answer, like you said. And if we go into more official wise, then you have experience across research, training, filmmaking, as I already said. But if we go back into time and look, what was that one turning point or moment when you decided that this is the career or the path that I want to take on in media?
Well, there is no one turning point in my life, and I'm sure with everyone, there is no one turning point where we decide that okay, this is what I want to do. There are several incidents that happen in your life, which makes you, believe that okay, this is what I want to do. This is my cup of tea, or this is what I don't want to do. So let me tell you, when I was in school, I was in Loreto Convent in Lucknow, and I remember all our teachers. They were very dynamic, very versatile, and they used to give us exposure to not just studies but otherwise. And that's how I was so inspired by doing things, because we used to do community service classes. So which means we used to teach students students of underprivileged background, and we used to have specific classes for them. So we used to spend a lot of time with those people, and that's how my inclination towards society was developed. And that's when I decided, what is that one field where I can do something for the society? And I think the answer was not very clear in my head, but I think it was journalism. I think it was media. That is what I wanted to do. Later on, when I entered college, I was studying literature in Jamia Millia Islamia, and I realized that studying literature, there is so much of creativity, there is so much of philosophy in life that one could see around. I mean, not just in books. So I'm sure even you read books, and those people watching also read books, and they realize that when you read a book, you experience the entire experience of that particular author. And that is so amazing. I mean, something that you will not experience in your lifetime, you're able to experience it by reading that particular book. So I read a lot of these novels and books and classics, and that completely changed my perspective to society. So who was thinking that it has to be very practical oriented and I have to make my career choice like this, it became very philosophical. It became very passion oriented. And that's when I realized, okay, I can also do something. I can still do something for the society. So I, switched to journalism. After so I switched to journalism, and after doing my graduation, I dropped a year to prepare for journalism because I wanted to enter into Jamia Millia Islamia mass communication. So I don't think you know, but I dropped a year specifically to prepare for this particular course. So when I prepared for this course, and it was so heartening that I was able to crack through that exam because it was very tough. And I was able to do journalism. So these were certain turning points in my life. And in my college also, I was part of a lot of these initiatives like theater or social work. So we had clubs, we created our own clubs just like you do. So we did a lot of these activities which gave me an exposure that there's so much that can be done for the society through creative means. So that's how my journey into
That's the
media.
beauty of it all, the experiences
Yes.
you've had, and I think that's completely worth it. Seeing that you are you in front of us,
Yes.
to all the viewers and to the students, right?
Yes,
And
absolutely.
as we're talking about journalism itself and
Mhm.
learning, so you have specialized in, I would say, fact checking and also the concept of fake news. In brief, if to a common person in layman terms, how would you describe the difference between misinformation and fake news?
Well, this term fake news is very commonly used, and we all use it on a day to day basis that we get a message and we say it is fake news. But the entire terminology, or the idea is bogus. Why I say it is bogus? Because news, we have not studied that news can be fake news and real news. News is news, and news comprises of something which is time, where there is timeliness, where there is relevancy, where there is objectivity, right? Where there is proximity, and this all we have studied in our theory. But when we start using the word fake news, we are negating the whole idea of news. So fake and news, they are poles apart. So we can't bring them together and say this is fake news. No. So the whole idea, that's what we need to change the narrative. That there is a problem that has come in the media system, which is false news or misinformation and disinformation. And that's where we as media professionals, or we as fact checkers, or we as people who can bring about a change, should be informing the society that okay, this is not news, this is a piece of opinion which you are thinking that this is a news. So many a times any message comes to us and we say that I read this news on my WhatsApp. But that news or that information which you're calling news could be a piece of opinion by someone. So, in order to qualify at news, it has to have facts. It has to have statistics. It has to have credible sources. It has to have the correct sources and data backing that particular news. So, if it is just emotions, if it is just a narrative, if it is just an opinion of someone, it is not news. And that is why it becomes all the more important for our society to understand and get some basic training of fact checking. So when I say basic training of fact checking, I don't mean that you have to learn some big rocket science, some tools to understand fact news, but it starts with observation. So if you simply look at a piece of news and look at it, or a photograph or a videograph, just try to figure out, just try to observe, is it too emotional? Does it have too many grammatical errors? Is it coming, where is it coming from? Who are the sources? Is it stating certain facts? If it is not doing any of these things, it is not news. So these are simple tools to check. And for video, if it is blur, if it is not, things are not clear, it's something, there's something fishy about it. Yes. So you all have studied this and you know. So these are the things that we should be telling in the society, and it is very easy to differentiate. I mean, sometimes it is difficult, but if you have certain basic understanding of news, you'll be able to identify.
Very exactly, like It's amazing, ma'am. The whole answer. I hope even the viewer, apart from the viewers, the students, especially media students, will be able to grasp it. And now let's talk about your experience as a trainer in platforms like GNI, IMA, and also in helping communities, especially women's help groups. How has has working as a trainer shaped your perspective as a human being and then in your career?
Wow, that's a very good question. As a trainer of Google News Initiative Network, I'm very thankful to Google, and I'm very thankful to Data Leads for giving me this opportunity, because that's how I, delved into fact checking, and that's how even my research, even my PhD, everything like coincided, and I did my research also on the same thing. So, answering your question, that what are the key takeaways or what are my experiences with training these people? So, as you rightly mentioned, I have trained cadets of IMA. I have also trained self-help groups, Anganwadi workers. I have trained several NGOs. I have trained media students and journalists across, in Lucknow and in Dehradun, in Uttarakhand precisely. So, and so many others. But one thing that is very fascinating when I always do my trainings is with females. I don't know, maybe it is because I am a female, so I have that point of view for them. But something so fascinating, they absorb so quickly.
Okay.
And they are able to see those things, they are able to utilize whatever they were trained, whatever they are being trained into their day-to-day lives. So maybe I'm talking about media in my trainings, or I'm talking about messages in my trainings, or the kind of messages that we get on mobile phone. So let me tell you one incident and things will be more clear. So I was training these Anganwadi workers in Dehradun. And I was telling them about Google reverse image search, because they were community leaders and they knew how to use Google. So that is, they knew कि हाँ ये Google बाबा जैसा कुछ है, and उसमें हम search करेंगे तो कुछ मिल जाएगा. So they were able to do that, and I was giving them certain tools, very simple tools, कि आप इसको observe कर सकते हैं कोई image को, या फिर किसी के बारे में ढूंढना है तो आप कैसे ढूंढें, किसी की आइडेंटिफाई करना है. So this lady, after the entire session was over, and because that session also talks about critical thinking, and I just want to talk about that also, because जब हम fact checking की बात करते हैं तो starting कहाँ से होती है? Critical thinking से. So if you are thinking, then everything goes on the right path. If you're not thinking, if you're just driven by emotions or what others are saying or what my friend is saying, it goes haywire. So what is important? The starting point is you think. And in one of the very popular saying, which is I think, therefore I am. So we as human beings are human beings because we are thinking beings. The day we stop thinking, we are no more humans. I mean, that's how I see this quotation. So this lady, after the session was over, she came to me and she said, आज मैं अपने हस्बैंड को बताऊंगी कि ये ऐसा नहीं, वो जो मुझे फॉरवर्ड मैसेजेस भेजते रहते हैं और बोलते हैं कि ऐसा होता है वैसा होता है, तो आज मैं I will do reverse image search and show it to him that this is not the case. So I feel somehow they were very empowered because they were able to develop that critical thinking. And these females, they were not someone who would just be sitting at home and just looking after the home. They were community leaders. They were change makers. They were making decisions for their community. But somewhere, because of patriarchy, they were a little subdued, or you could say they were dominated by the male members. But this whole session, they were like, yes, this is how it is, and let me go back and let me use these tools to tell people that this is wrong and this is right. So I think that is something which is very interesting, which I noted, especially with my participants who were female. So they feel very empowered. So when you have certain skill sets, you are empowered. अगर आपको ड्राइविंग आ जाती है, आपको अच्छा लगता है. अगर आप कार ड्राइव करने लगते हैं, आप और empowered feel करते हैं. So similarly with these skill sets, if you know how to check, if you know how to ask questions, even to the society or to the government, you feel empowered. And I think that's the beauty of these things.
Rightly said.
Yeah.
And now, if we go into the filmmaker aspect of you, you have worked as AD for City's Stepchild, and it has won more than 30 national and international awards. So, just in a gist, how would you say what inspired you for it, and how did it shape your perspective as a filmmaker apart from being all the other things you already are?
Okay, so regarding City Stepchild, one of the most beautiful, experience of doing films, and why? Because and also it was very hitting. It was very depressing also when I was doing it, but it was a mix of all of those things, and that is why it is something that I recall often. So I was doing a photo story as part of my assignment in when I was doing masters in journalism, and this photo story I was challenged by my teacher because I gave this idea that I want to do a photo story on where the garbage is being dumped. So my professor in Jamia, he was like, do you know where it is being dumped? I said, yes, there are landfills in Delhi, and I'll cover that. He said, will you be able to cover? I said, yes, I'll. So sometimes we as teachers, now I know what he was doing. So sometimes we as teachers, we challenge our students. We say that you'll not be able to do. And that's where, because you have a lot of energy and you have a lot of charisma and you feel, no, I'll show it to my teacher that I can do it. So that's how I was. And I said, no, sir, I'll do it. Give me a week's time because I have to take बहुत permissions होती है वहाँ पे. You can't just enter a landfill like that. You have to take permissions. So I did all of that, and I thought it was just a landfill. I'm sure viewers would know there are the landfills in Delhi.
Yes.
When you look at the site, you see that it looks like a mountain.
Yes, mountain.
But it is not. It is the garbage that we create on a daily basis. It is dumped there. And it really intrigued me whenever I passed on that route. And I always wondered, it used to look beautiful. I mean, try to understand as a student. For me, coming from a town and then coming to Delhi and studying, I used to pass by. I said, अच्छा यहाँ पे तो चिड़िया वगैरह भी दिख रही हैं, अच्छा दूर से पहाड़ हैं, क्या है. So it really intrigued me. एंड आई वॉन्टेड टू स्टडी कि क्या है, कैसे है, ये कूड़े का ढेर कैसे लग सकता है, मतलब इतना कूड़ा कैसे, ये तो कुछ और होगा, कहीं होगा छोटा सा लैंडफिल. That's how innocent I was when we started. And when I took my camera, I had my DSLR, and with all the mask and everything, I went inside and I said, just मतलब देख के सिर्फ कूड़ा ही कूड़ा था वहाँ पे. और मेरे दिमाग में जो एक नोशन था कि कहीं जाके कुछ एक दिखेगा, वहाँ पे कूड़ा होगा, that really shattered. And I was like, ये क्या है, ये तो ख़त्म ही नहीं हो रहा है, ये तो उसने कहा आप यहाँ क्या करने आई हैं. क्योंकि imagine there are people, there is a whole sort of a small village that are staying there. So वहाँ पे आपको छोले भटूरे भी बिक रहे होंगे, वहाँ पे आपकी छोटी छोटी दुकानें भी लगी होंगी, वहाँ कबाड़ भी है, सब कुछ है उस लैंडफिल में. It's a whole world. I mean, it was just like a flip of entire different world. And that exposure, when I clicked photographs, and I was like so disturbed, even when I'm talking, I'm having goosebumps, because it was so disturbing. I could not sleep the entire night. And I felt कि कैसे रह रहे हैं ये लोग. Small girls, किसी के कुछ scratch लगा है, क्योंकि वहाँ पे आप कूड़े में तो हम सब कुछ फेंक देते हैं ना. कूड़े में हम ब्लेड भी फेंक देते हैं, हम पैकेट्स भी फेंक देते हैं, हम खाना भी फेंक देते हैं. And I will not tell what all I found. I mean, this is not the right platform, but there were so many different things that I found which really disturbed me. I could not sleep the entire night. For several nights, when I came back home, I was all the time taking a shower because I felt so filthy. कि मैं कहाँ से आई हूँ, because I was wearing jeans and I had floaters, so I did not wear proper shoes. So those were the things that happened. But that entire incident changed my perspective about Delhi.
I see.
And I discussed that idea, and then when the professor saw the images, they were technically very poor. So it was all blur images. Because I was not able to click एक पैर इधर, आप क्या कैप्चर करना चाह रहे हो. एक चील आ रही है, वो कुछ खाने की कोशिश कर रही है, फिर उड़ रही है. There are fumes that are coming out, and I was wondering ये fumes कहाँ से आ रहे हैं, क्योंकि वो गार्बेज जब सड़ता है तो उसमें से मीथेन गैस निकलती है. तो ये सब मेरे लिए सब कुछ नया था और मैं अकेली थी. तो ये सारी चीज़ें बहुत इंट्रीगिंग लगी और फिर मैंने ये चीज़ें डिस्कस करी एंड माय प्रोफेसर वाज स्टन्ड कि पिक्चर्स तो बहुत ख़राब हैं लेकिन आई एम सो हैप्पी एंड ही वाज रियली अपलॉडेड कि दैट यू वन ऑफ कुछ पिक्चर्स अच्छी थी जो मैं कैप्चर कर पाई. But he said that this is something that you can take beyond this assignment. And that's how I discussed with others, with my friends, and the idea was brilliant. So we worked on the idea and we met so many people there. Again, I think I visited that place almost 10 times again. Later on I had some health issues also related, but I'm happy that I was able to at least find the real side, some part of Delhi, and showcase to people across the globe that these are the problems that it is not all glam and fancy things, but these are real problems that needs to be talked about. So yeah, I mean, I can go on, but I think yes, that's how the idea of the film emerged, and it involved a lot of research. And primarily because it was showing kids, I was very fascinated with how these children were doing in that particular place. So working with children was so much fun. So these little kids, they would show me around. दीदी वहाँ पे बहुत चीज़ें पड़ी हुई हैं, आप वहाँ चलो. उधर तो मैं because they have this metal rod and they with a magnet, so they are able to identify all the metal things, so they collect and then they sell and then they make money out of it. So there was this very interesting child. He used to collect all these things, motor parts, star, all these things, and then he had created a fan for his house, and that was so cool. सो उसने क्या किया, सारे मेटल पार्ट्स लिए, ब्लेड्स वगैरह कहीं कहीं से मिल गया, और वो कितने साल का रहा होगा, अब तो वो 20 साल का होगा, बट उस टाइम आई थिंक नॉट मोर देन 6 years चाइल्ड, स्मॉल चाइल्ड, इतना बड़ा होगा. और उसने पूरा अपने घर में एक छोटा सा पंखा लगा रखा था. कैसे बनाया? खुद से बनाया. So imagine if we are able to show these stories through media to our people, to the society, we can bring about so much of change, and that is what I want to do. Whether I am teaching, whether I am making films, although I don't do it now more frequently, but I do it with my students, and I love doing those creative things. Yeah.
I think this is the core of journalism, ma'am.
Yes.
As you
Yes.
told the story, everyone present here as well as me, it's very emotional, but on the
Yes,
other
it
side,
is.
since we are student of media,
Yes.
we can't run away from
Yes,
it, and
yes.
that is, I think, also the beauty of it.
Yes.
We other people can't see it. We are so indulged in our own lives and we think everything is big.
Yes.
We fear everything. Then we see things like this, hear stories like this,
Yes.
and we think this is why we do this. This is why we are learning. The people, the children,
Yes.
right? So this got quite a bit heavy. So on a lighter note,
Yeah, yeah.
there's an upcoming project, Adira. Since me and the viewers don't know much about it, we would like to know it from you, a bit about it.
So Adira is basically AI training for media and healthcare, because AI has emerged and it has become part of our day-to-day lives, and that is why it is important, it is crucial that we should know about what is AI, how it can be utilized. Because you see, when technology comes, it takes time to adopt. People take time. Society takes almost 20 years to get into that process. And sometimes less. So in order to navigate through this technology or through this AI, we need to be skilled, we need to understand. So Adira, I'm looking forward to Adira sessions. I will be doing it in the next week over here in Graphic Era, with you all the students, and also I'm planning in other places also. So these trainings are basically to equip one with AI and how it can be utilized for healthcare and media.
Now let's dive into the academician part of you. So academics के लिए, the role of institutions like ours, how do they manage, or what role do they play in the growth of budding media enthusiasts or professionals?
So yes, I can talk about that very well, because we at Graphic Era Hill University and Media and Mass Communication Department, we have created such an environment for our students that they are able to not just learn the concepts and the foundation courses, but they are able to do a lot of experiments. And that is what our USP is all about. We do a lot of experiments. The thing that we are doing right now is also an experiment. I'm sure you'll agree to that. So this is not part of the course. I mean, yes, there is podcast, understanding podcast, very much part of the course. But doing something like this, and I'm so happy to share with our audience that this is completely student driven. I have no role in this except that we as teachers guide you and mentor you. But the fact that you are able to do this in-house thing on your own, with everything from logo to the set design to the backdrop and everything that you see over here is completely done by students. So this, where does it come from? It comes from the training that we are giving you. It comes from the guidance or the environment, the conducive environment of learning and experimenting that we give. And I keep saying this in all my address, that I give a lot of emphasis to creativity and ideas. So because media is all about that, and the times that have come is that you need to be creative, thinking out of the box. So that we are able to do here. We have a lot of these internships that are available. Students are able to do, they necessarily not have to go out and find internships. They can find internship at Graphic Era. We are a big brand, and there's so many opportunities that you can find here. If not here, you can create, right? So this is how, this is our USP, apart from what you already know, that we have a studio, we have a state-of-art infrastructure. So I don't think I need to harp on that. But what I want to talk about is that we talk about creativity, we focus on ideas and ideation, and we convert those ideations, as we say, turning dreams into reality. I'm so proud we're able to do this podcast. Yes.
Turning dreams into reality. Exactly said, ma'am. And now a bit of an imaginary or a situation-based question. If you were a student in 2025 and you were entering as the fresher in our department, media and mass communication, right? What is the first skill that you would like to learn?
First skill. I think I'll not go for things like AI or, fact checking, but I would rather go for critical thinking.
Okay.
Because I think one might feel that right now in this present age, 2025, we should know AI, all the skills. We should know how to navigate through technology. We should know what are fact-checking tools. We should know how to, do the best camera shot. We should, I mean, I'm talking from the media point of view, as you asked. We should know how to make a best film. We should know how to write brilliantly, and we should know how to speak fluently and articulate our expressions. But I think beyond that is that you should be able to think. Think wisely. And when you are a thinking being, when you are able to think, you can do all of these things. It is just a matter of time. So if you're not thinking, you're just learning skill, but you're not thinking, you don't know where it will be utilized, it is of no use. So we don't have, technology can be best if you make them as servant, if you treat it as servant. But if it becomes your master, you're gone.
Yes.
And we know the recent incidents that have happened, ChatGPT, all those things. So it can have its own repercussions, and we should be aware, and we should be able to navigate through this technology smartly.
And now, if we go into your journalistic side a bit, it's more of a controversial, or I could say conflicting question, but do you think people nowadays trust influencers more than journalists?
Where have you got your questions from? ChatGPT? They are so brilliant. Or it's your mind. But I think influencers do play a very important role. But at the same time, they can also misguide you into doing things which you never wanted to do. But because it is an influencer, it is a trend. And that is why I again go back to my previous answer about thinking. So if I'm able to think and I'm able to process, okay, this is good, this influencer is doing good, this is not doing good anything to me, I'm just scrolling and looking at the videos, fun videos, dancing videos, which are not relevant to me, maybe, right? So again, it depends from individual to individual. But there is a important role of influencers in the present time. We cannot deny that. But at the same time, there is a lot of good hardcore journalism that is going on. So yes, in the mainstream media as well, but I would say in the alternate media, apart from the mainstream media, there are journalists who are doing really well in their own field, and thanks to the technology and social media, that they're able to share and, you know, also make it into a business and also make changes in the society. So it is both. It is difficult to answer whether it is influencer, because there are so many journalists who are influencer. So influencer is nothing in isolation. Anyone who is doing good and is able to communicate well becomes an influencer. So what if you are not doing good but you're able to communicate? You also then become an influencer. So point is what you're doing and how you are doing.
Hmm. And now, academically speaking, if you look back at your PhD research, what is one insight or value from it that you still carry with yourself?
So one insight into the PhD journey is the fact that there are a lot of these people who told me in their interviews that they knew that a particular piece of news was bogus, was false, but they still shared it.
Oh.
So, I mean, I hats off to the people who admitted that, but they did. They said, yes, we do. And the next, the question that followed was, why did you do that? So they said, just, out of fun, just to create, because it was popular, because I think it was viral, so I also shared. Without realizing that there was so much of things that went backwards that cannot be undone. So once you share, you can't unshare. I mean, you can technically, but then it has gone into the subconscious mind, whatever you shared. So that is one insight, that there are people who admitted that they shared fake news in spite of the fact that they knew it was wrong, which was insightful. And the second is that social media platforms, Facebook especially, Facebook is one social media platform which really, we can say, peddled fake news, or to precisely not use the word fake news, but which peddled false news and misinformation and disinformation. So that is quite intriguing.
Now, finally, to sum up all of this
Yeah.
into one answer from yourself, an advice you would like to give to the viewers or the students who want to tackle this issue of misinformation themselves too, and also the chaos of WhatsApp University, but don't know how to start.
Okay, so my one cent to the media students, or one piece of advice is that we need, as because we are so rushy and we are all the time rushing through things, through social media and everything, our assignments, our work, our lives, personal and professional both, that just ठहर जाओ and look inside, start thinking, try to do things with a lot of patience. Like even if you're doing camera work, don't rush through it कि जल्दी से bite मिल जाए, जल्दी से photo मिल जाए, है ना? ये मैं क्योंकि आपने मीडिया का पूछा, that is why telling you. So don't rush through photographs, don't rush through any filming that you are doing, don't rush through finding the right character for your film, don't rush through finding the right capture, right moment. It will come to you, it has to come to you, but you have to wait, and that wait has its own beauty. So I will not say learn skills, AI skills, learn, fact checking. I think that will come if you are a thinking being, if you start thinking, that will come on its own depending on your interest. Maybe you want to become a fact checker, maybe you don't want to become a fact checker, you want to be a writer. So but for all of those things you need patience. And I think today's generation, सारी generation दूसरे generation को बोलती है, तो मैं भी एक बोल देती हूँ, but I really mean it, कि today's generation, which I compare, is little impatient. And we see gratification very quickly. I mean, it is happening with me also. I would not deny. I want to see quick results, quick these things. But then I talk back, I try to, introspect, and I said, it's okay, it will take time. And when things take time, it's beautiful, it's amazing. So have patience, everything will work on its own.
Viewers, this is the advice, okay?
Yes.
And thank you so much, ma'am, for this amazing, deep, insightful conversation. We talked about many things, every
Yeah.
aspect of you. I
Yes.
think for now,
Yes.
and next time, again, I hope we'll have more to learn from you and listen from you in a longer episode. But for now, this will be the end of it. And thank you, viewers, and all the students, and anyone watching this. I hope you also enjoyed this conversation very well. If you stuck until the end, I'm pretty sure that you might have gotten inspired and also learned about new things and gotten new perspectives and insights, right? Until the next episode of Know Your Faculty, stay kind, stay curious, as I always say. So, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe and comment because we really, really appreciate your comments on our YouTube, right? And don't forget to follow our Instagram page. The links and handle is down in the description below. Thank you. Bye bye.